Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is a yap session. Okay, I'm just gonna be doing my makeup while I'm yapping. If you care about what I'm using, in the description box. It's not like a makeup tutorial. We're not talking about any new makeup. We're just gonna yap. I'm gonna talk about stuff that's on my mind or that I've been wanted to talk about. It's a specific topic. So if you're just chilling, grab your snacks, your champagne, okay? Grab whatever you want to drink, whatever activity you want to do. You can watch me do my makeup while you do your makeup and just listen to me yap. That's what this is, okay? And I want to talk about this discussion on content creators, influencers making too much money. And I know this is a conversation that we have to wrap up by 9 p.m. tomorrow. So I want to add my little 2 cents today before we really, neatly tie it up in a bow. If you don't know, if this is your first time seeing me, welcome. I'm Bisola, and I am a professional. Wow. I'm a professional makeup artist. I'm an actress. I'm a content creator. What else? Because I do all these things. I'm forgetting. I'm something else. I already said I'm an actress. I'm all the things, okay? And I feel like I am qualified. I'm just talking. I'm not even doing my makeups. I feel like I'm qualified to talk about this because the conversation that's being had about the money part of this, I want to put a lot of things in perspective because, a lot of people they enjoy consuming content. They may know a little bit about it. They may know nothing about it. And I just want to, give you guys some perspective. Not generally, the people that are already subscribed to me, some of them already know this, but I've talked about, being an actress. I've made a video about what my makeup looks like when I'm on set. So I want to let you guys know, I've worked behind the camera. I've worked on the camera. I've been the talent of a commercial, couple of commercials. Some of them have aired. Some of them that has never seen the light of day, but the check cleared. Okay, the check cleared. Certain things in perspective of why no, content creators are not getting paid too much. And I mentioned all the things that I am because I want you guys to, this is darker than I thought. I wanted you guys to know that I've worked on different sides of production to know what warrants what somebody should be getting paid. And I just told you one of the commercials, I think it's saved on my phone. Or somewhere on my computer. I'm going to annotate it somewhere on the screen so you guys can see. But, there was a person that came on TikTok. The video, I was going to say it went semi-viral, but it wasn't really viral. It got everybody talking. And I agreed with a lot of people that had comments and things to say about it because I agree with a lot of them. The conversation lacks a lot of nuance. And while I don't even want to say I understand, while I can see what the creator was trying to say, it has no merit. Like, it's baseless. Come to find out, this person is also wanting to be a content creator themselves. And, there's a way to have a conversation. I want to do something very cool tone, very 90s inspired with my eyes today. We'll see where we end up. But I think because the video itself had so much vitriol in it, it was like, even if she had a point, she really didn't flush out her point in a way where people can say, I understand that. A lot of people were agreeing, but even in their agreements, they're still wrong. So let's not even say on a film set, because not a lot of content creators ever even want to go that direction. But bigger content creators. They've been on many sets. They get to travel to different places. And as a content creator, I've also had my share of travel. Nowhere international with a brand yet. It's going to happen, but I'm not rushing it. Before I get to that, I want to talk about what it's like when a brand approaches you and what all of that entails. So let's say, I'm talking and I'm doing makeup and a specific brand loves the way I'm talking about the makeup or I'm doing the makeup and they want to partner with me. It's cheaper to hire me. Let's say they want to do an ad campaign, not even a commercial. They want to do an ad campaign and they're talking about their new mascara that just came out. I'll probably I was just looking for that. I was looking for my eye drops. Anyway, let's say it's not a commercial and they just want to do like an ad campaign for an eyeliner, right? And we're on set. So now, before, it's two things. We're doing an ad campaign, or they can hire me to do the ad, and they're going to pay me because it's a paid ad, right? That I'll put on my socials, depending on what the deliverables are. And deliverables, if you don't know, is what brands are requiring you to do in your said paid campaign, paid post, whatever. Or it can be in a YouTube video. But right now I'm going to break down each of these things, but right now we're specifically talking about an ad campaign. Once a brand decides, let's say they haven't hired, this is another time that they've hired a content creator yet, right? So now this is pre-production. The team has already decided we're coming out with new eyeliner. We know in that we want the eyeliner to showcase 4 different types of looks, or, if the eyeliner is like really, really thin, I'm about to do my eyeliner. Yeah, I'm not doing anything too crazy to the eyes. But let's say that they want the eyeliner to be 3 different looks or showing 3 different lines. Like the eyeliner is going to give you a graphic liner. It's going to give you just, easy to put on, just 3 different eye looks. Post-production, so all of this has happened, and the people that are gathering in this room that have had this meeting, they're getting paid. That's one. So those people are getting paid. Now, if it's not already in studio, because there's some almost all, not even some, all of the brands, a lot of them have their own studios that they use. In their buildings, in their offices, or whatever. But if they don't, they will usually use a studio that they will have to rent out. But for the sake of this, I'll be a little nice. The studio, why do I keep saying studio? The brand has their own studio where you can shoot, so they don't have to do location scouting. Cool, we saved money on that. That is a thick ass eyeliner. I don't think I was ready for that. But they're saving money on that, right? They're not spending any money on that yet. But now we have to hire the model, the talent that they're looking for, because now they have to do talent scout. They have to find the type of model they're looking for. If they're only looking for one model to showcase the different eyeliners. Sorry that I'm saying a lot. I'm trying to make sure I'm focusing, remembering what I'm saying, and doing my makeup so I don't look a mess. But yeah, so for the sake of this, I'm going to keep it simple. They're hiring one model. They found the model that they're looking for. Most likely, maybe this model has just perfect almond standard eyes, right? Eye shape. So they know whoever they're doing this makeup look on, or this eye look, maybe they don't have, the talent doesn't have hooded lids. It's just a straightforward thing. They have to pay the model. they have to pay the makeup artist. They have to pay the hairstylist. And because now this is an in-studio shoot, they have to pay the lighting people. They have to pay the photographer. And 9 times out of 10, the social media person is going to be there because we're talking about nowadays, or someone doing content behind the scenes. And if they wanted to catch BTS, they'll probably have an actual videographer or cinematographer. And now let's say, I'm going to do the calculation on screen because I don't know how many people I just mentioned, but in my editing, I will. Now, let's say this is very low, but this is one of the prices I've gotten paid for being on set before. Let's say, and this is on the lower end, so to speak, because it also matters. Like, am I being hired as a makeup artist or am I being hired as a talent? Let's say I'm being hired as the talent and I'm the model that they hired, or, whatever. Actually, I'm using me and regular model simultaneously. Just bear with me, y'all. So now let's say all those people, we've mentioned at least 4 people are getting paid $3,500. Because now you've had to hire all of these different people. How much is that? Now, put that money, where is it? Circle it, put a pin in it. We're coming back to that. So that same amount, I don't know how many people I counted for. It depends on what my calculation is going to be in the edits. Now, let's say the same exact concept, but they decide, you know what, we're going to save hiring all these people. Let's just look for 4 creators. They have 4 different eye shapes, and we want to be able to show the audience. This is always a thing that happens. What did I just do with my eyeshadow? Oh my God, my eyeshadow brush. Oh, there it is. To showcase this eyeliner. Now, whatever you think that person is getting paid. So let's say whatever they would have used, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Whatever they would have paid the team for that campaign, now they're paying 4 different people, right? That's the budget that they had originally if they were going to do in-person or in-studio shoot. But they decided, actually, let's reach out to 4 different content creators that'll be able to, talk about this more, show different ways. They probably have different artistic styles. Some people are probably more into graphic liner more. Some people are into like everyday, just doing their makeup. They're probably going to pick 4 different people that is still showcasing the exact same items. You see why content creators are important? Because instead of hiring 4 different models plus the crew that they have to hire, it's just, if you're watching me and I always recommend good eyeliner or good whatever, you already know I'm not going to BS you when I'm talking about, oh, this is new. Yes, it's a paid campaign. Because me personally, if I don't like a brand, if it's not a brand that I align with, I'm not doing a campaign with you. To lie about money for people to not trust me ever again, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And if your product is crap, why would I recommend it to people? So I know a lot of the times the content creators that have lied for money or whatever the case might be, they always seem to outshine the people that have integrity, and they just not with that. They would just accept the campaign because, you can say yes or no. Either way, the brand is still going to find someone that's going to say yes because someone will always say yes, right? I feel like I have this all the way up here too much. Anyway, somebody is always going to say yes to the money. It may not be money that I need. It may be money somebody else needs. You don't know people's pockets. Anyway, so let's say that one campaign has now paid for different people. That's still a fair thing. Now, let's say they're like, actually, we just want this campaign to be our favorite influencer at the moment. We really love this person. We love the way they talk about makeup that they use. And we know that their audience trusts them because, they're always honest in their review. And we know the product that we spent a lot of money in creating is not trash. We know that it's amazing. So we're going to give this money instead of hiring all these people. We're going to give this money to that person. Now that person has to be their own makeup artist, their own hairstylist, their own light person. They also, if their space is not enough, if they want to be extra creative, sometimes, a lot of the times, actually, a lot of people hire photographers. If they're like if someone does a lot of video and they're just like, I want this to look like an ad, or if your brief, or deliverables say they want it to look like an ad campaign, you're probably like, listen, I don't want to have to worry about anything. I'm going to hire a photographer. I feel like I'm louder because my microphone is louder. It's closer to me. But let's say that content creator is like, I'm more good with video than I am with, what do you call this? With photography. They may hire a photographer because they want to be able to capture. Why am I getting tongue-tied? They want to be able to capture the essence of this being an editorial kind of shoot, right? That person now also has to get paid. Or even if you don't hire anybody, the time it takes to do all of that, because now, if it was a studio shoot, we didn't talk about post-production. If it's not the same editor that is the photographer that took the photo, that editor has to get paid. But when it's the content creator, after all the content has been captured, you then now have to report back to the brand. I always send raw images first before I finalize anything, just to make sure that the brand likes it. And I know that's what some of my content creator friends do as well. I think I like this. I feel like we've escaped from getting cool tone makeup. Anyway, now let's say they're paying for post-production, which is editing the photo. So now you have somebody else that you have to pay to edit. So you're telling me the one person that has created all of these job functions, they don't deserve to get paid, but all these people that the brand would have had to pay anyway, the brand was already going to pay that money. They were already going to pay that money. So back to the campaign I was talking about. Now, let's say the brand decides, I'm not hiring 4 different content creator. We want this content creator to be able to give us the 4 different eye looks. I'm not doing that to my eyes. I'm not irritating my eyes. Like, no matter how much I'm getting paid, I'm not irritating my eyes. So I'll probably map out 4 different days to do the exact same eye look, but change my liner if they want different looks, right? Because they want it to be able to capture what the eyeliner can do. Sometimes you have content creators that, I don't want to say they're overachievers, but they go above and beyond. And a lot of the times that locks you in with that brand almost forever. Maybe I throw in a little BTS from there. Like, this is how I created this, this look. But now I'm sending the raw, what do you call this? The raw file to the brand, right? For them to approve. Because if they don't approve of certain things, I now have to go back and redo certain things to edit the look or to give them edits. Because it's not always every time you take the photo, they're like, that's perfect. I've had 2 brands like, oh yeah, this is exactly one we wanted, and no notes. You know how great that is? Anyway, not all the brands, and sometimes edits are good because sometimes you need someone to tell you, that isn't exactly what we're looking for. Or this is great. Can you adjust this? That's fine. Edits is part of the thing if it's in your contract. Okay. So if I've delivered everything and I've done my job, why shouldn't I get paid what I deserve? And that's just an ad campaign. Now let's go back. Let's go to a commercial. So all of these people got to get paid, right? I've already mentioned that. Now let's make it, we now have to hire a videographer. Oops. We now have to hire a sound person. And then now lighting for, probably have to have more than one crew, or one person crew, or 2-person crew for lighting, because lighting for video is different from photography. When I'm on set and I'm the makeup artist, I always try to, my best friends are always like the hairstylist and not the sound people, but the videographer or the photographer. Because I need to know what light you're setting so I can know the light I set for when I'm doing makeup on my client, so it can match. So when they're in front of the camera, they don't look crazy. That's a whole nother type of knowledge that you have to have when you're doing all these things on your own. So when people have conversations, they never talk about all of these things. So the people that we opted out from the first one, because now this is video, now you have to hire, like I said, a cinematographer. You have to have, it changes the game when it comes to commercial, because now you have to have your first assistant, you have to have your AD. I feel like I just mixed those up. You have to pay the director, the cinematographer is not the director. The cinematographer is not the cinematographer is not the director. Because even in the ad campaign, I forgot to mention, sometimes they always have the creative director there. That person also has to get paid. But when you're doing this all on your own, you're all of those things. Especially if you don't live in an area where you're like, oh, I could just hire a photographer on the whim, or a photographer that also knows how to shoot beauty, because photographers are not created equal. If I'm a beauty photographer, I may not know how to shoot wildlife. I can take beautiful pictures, but I may not know how to shoot wildlife. Please. So now we're doing a commercial. I've already mentioned. Now we have to pay the sound people, different types of lighting. We have to pay the first AD. We have to pay the director. We have to pay the cinematographer. Who else? There's people, if I'm missing it, because I can't think of it right now on my brain, I'm going to add all of the things on one of the commercials that I've done. I think I still have it in my email just for a commercial. And I'm going to add all of those people. All of those people have to get paid. And when you're on set for commercial, the catering has to get paid. Oh, it's so many people that have to get paid, and you are worried about one creator making a lot of money. Please. Because people don't like to, they'll say, well, all of those people are there doing a job. Yeah, and I'm doing the job of all of those people. It's exhausting when you also have to be the model or the actress, whatever, plus trying to figure out how this looks, And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to go back in and edit. And when I say edit, it may not even be notes that the brand gave you. It's just now you have to edit the photos. Now you have to edit the video. Or before that, you have to send the raw file to the brand. Make sure they approve. And then you go to post-production. You're telling me what people are getting paid is not worth it? It's absolutely worth it. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. If there's a freelancer that's doing all of these things, when they go on set, they also have to get paid. So when someone is doing a campaign every single time, they should be getting paid for their work. Hello? Okay, so now that we've talked about that, now let's talk about post-production. there has to be a team that edits the video, right? If it's on set, so now we have to make sure we're paying that person too. It's a whole team. It's a whole team of people that we're paying. Every time this conversation has come up, because this is not the first time, it's just always like, are you not tired? Are you not exhausted? And you know, that video to me, in certain parts of the conversation, it was just like, why are you so angry? I feel like the message probably could have taken a different tone in the way people are responding if it didn't reek of jealousy and anger. It reeked of that. All for you to also be promoting stuff on this channel. Is it not baffling, y'all? Because I would never yuck someone's yum. I just won't. For what? It brings me no joy. It doesn't do anything for my soul. Why am I doing that? And I'm always saying, we don't know what people have been through. We don't know if this was like, you just don't know what people have been through in life to be telling them they make too much money. By whose standards? And then they go to say, oh, people of this profession are not making this amount of money. Or people of that profession are not making. Me getting paid what I'm getting paid is not stealing money. A brand telling me to slap on makeup, talk about it in this way, and tell me how I feel, and tell my audience something new came out, blah, 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 is not affecting the way a teacher is getting paid. It's not affecting what a neurosurgeon is getting paid, right? It's not. And if we want to have a serious conversation about consumerism, you think, and this is the thing, I check my analytics. I know it's grown women, grown people that watch my videos across everywhere that people watch my videos. A lot of 18 to like 24 people, I would say, don't really watch my videos. But even if they did, we have to stop holding people's hands with baby hands, if that's how I want to say it. Like, I always come on my channel and, you know, a lot of the stuff I review here are probably on the pricier, luxury, premium makeup side. And I'm never, ever, 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 I'm looking so orange. I'm never, ever, ever going to force you to say, you have to go buy this. I always make sure I try to say, if this is something you've been eyeing and you already were going to stop by here and buy this thing, but I'm reviewing it to tell you if it's worth your money or not, that's a different story than you trying to make it seem like I'm forcing people to buy. Please, we have to stop coddling people. I'm not forcing anyone to buy anything, but I will recommend stuff, and I will tell you, oh, I think this is an item that if you've been interested in it, this is what it is. I know the audience I have. It's just like people who are interested in something and they choose to want to buy it. I'm not coming to your home and putting a gun to your head to tell you, you got to go to Sephora and pick this up. You better go to Saks and pick this up. I'm not doing that. I always say, if this is something you are interested in, if it's something you want, or I just share my love of makeup and like, oh, this is beautiful. And I'm also a makeup artist. So the way I accumulate products, and even in PR, it's probably not the same that other people are using it. And even if it is, or even if it's not, that's fine. The video also mentions not pocket watching. Only that's precisely what that came off as. It came off as jealousy, like you're not there yet. And it's like all content creators that now have a lot of money, they all started from someone. We've seen their journey. I also want to touch on, hopefully I remember later, I want to touch on when people talk about relatability when it comes to content creators. You don't need to relate to everybody. I just think the conversation lately has just been the same type of people that are always talked about. Now, the way people share the content or the products that they receive in PR, or not even PR, stuff that people are using their money to purchase, I could understand where it's like sometimes people are not reading the room if a lot of things are happening, or especially because things are happening in the world. People can spend their money on what they want to because they work hard for it. No matter how, even with content creation, people are like, it's not hard work. I told my friend this not too long ago too. I was like, it's not hard work in the sense of, I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not a neurosurgeon. I'm not curing cancer, because that is important, intensive work that's being done. It doesn't minimize that in my field of what I'm doing, that is also work. It's also work. It's not the same type of work, but it's also work. It's just so weird. But I would never claim, to say I'm working so hard. Like, content creation is time consuming because my brain does not shut off. Y'all, if you see my Trello board of all these amazing ideas that I have, and I'm also writing a script for a show, because like I told you guys earlier, I'm also an actress, and just it's my brain, it doesn't shut off. But to say like I'm working hard, as hard as someone in a field that are literally saving lives, no, it's not that. But all of it is work. It's just not crazy hard work. It's just brain consuming or time consuming, because it's a lot of time that you have to do so many things, and sometimes it can seem very mundane, but it's not hard work in the way sometimes people may describe it. And I feel like the words people use sometimes, it can also rub people the wrong way. Like if a content creator came on here and said, oh, I had a hard day, or my job is so hard. Oh, it could have been a hard day for them. You know, and people on the internet don't make it easier either. Like, it's one thing to not like a content creator, but the way sometimes people talk to other people or talk about content creators like they're not human beings. I see comments sometimes and it's just like, oh my God, this person, they're also a person. Why are we being disgusting? It's one thing to critique. Now, if I ever do something wrong, call it out. But people want to critique people in such a vitriol. It just always sounds like so much anger. And I'm just like, I'm not even going to want to listen to you if you're talking to me like that. Because 9 times out of 10, you're never going to talk to me like that out the side of your mouth. You're not. If you saw me in person, you'd never say that to me. But people get comfortable online and talk crazy about people. And I think that also doesn't help. But also, we also have to talk about content creators that seem like they're showing off. Sometimes, like I mentioned earlier, we don't know what people have been through. They're probably happy that they can probably now invest in pieces across the, how do I want to say it? In pieces across the luxury world. Some people are just, using that way. Like if that's not something that you're already used to purchasing, it can come off very jarring, for other people experiencing you. So I can see where people are coming from that. But, we got to let people taste the little luxuries of the world. I shop luxury in a very different way that I could say maybe most people do, because since I was a little girl, because of my mom, I'm gonna show y'all a couple of pictures of my mom. I get it from my mama. I've also gotten when people say, oh, Bisolaspice so bougie. What about it? I get it from my mama. I am my mother's daughter. But, I've always loved fashion. And I'm all about cost per usage and cost per wear. If I know a brand has good quality of stuff, I always have a wish list before I buy anything luxury anyway. I always want to see if it goes on sale because I pay full price when you can get it discounted, because sometimes they'll go discount, they go out of season. But anyway, some people shop brands because it's just what they do. Some people have always been able to afford it. Some people, they come into money and they just they want the finer, the better. I don't want to say luxury is better because I want to be careful with my words because I know people twist stuff like that. I hope what I'm trying to say is making sense. But, there's some brands, it's just whatever you've had from them, it just lasts. That house of whatever makes really, really amazing leather, or they make amazing products that just last forever. It's also kind of the reason why, I get the hype about the Stanleys. I remember when I used to work at my old corporate job, and this guy, I was like, our seat was like in the same row. It wasn't a cubicle, but kind of like that. And he was like drinking from his Stanley cup. And I saw the year the Stanley was made. And this was when, Stanley has always been around. But the hype it got in the past couple of years, I look crazy. It's okay. Y'all know makeup is all about trusting the process. But he was drinking from it, and I saw the year Stanley was established. I was like, wow. Like, I know it was, like I said, it was a brand that's been around forever, but I didn't know it had been around that long. And I was just said it out loud. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that Stanley's had been around that long. I was like, I know it's super hyped up right now, and I know that it's a brand that's been out for a while, just not that long. And the guy was telling me, he was like, oh, yeah. And his wasn't any of the like fancy new thing. It was like just a regular mug that just keeps your coffee warm, obviously. He was like, oh, this was my dad's. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, because it was like, it looked like a mug that was loved. When you've used something for so long, all of this ties together, I promise. I told you this was a yapping video. I told you that in the beginning. I did not tell you that. I told you. But he was mentioning, he was like, oh, this was my dad's. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, like we've been using Stanley since, like, he was like, literally, he was just basically saying, now I don't remember verbatim, but he was like, oh, this man, he grew up in a smaller town, and it could have been the town that Stanley's made. I don't remember. Don't make me lie to you. I don't remember, but it was something along the lines of, oh, this has been in my family forever. He was like, I think it's really cool that it's, the brand has blown up, but he was like, this is a brand that's been around forever because this is what his parents used to take to work, back in the day when they were going to the office. I was like, that is so interesting. I was just like, everyone is very hyped up right now. He was like, yeah, I know. He was like, but I think it's really cool that now it's one of those things that every generation can enjoy. And I just really enjoyed his perspective on it. But I say all of this to say, a brand like that we know has been around forever, and they create great quality, for him to still have something that his dad had used. I'm using that example as to some of these fashion houses have also been like that for certain people. Like, I know a couple of people that, my face is looking really orange. I don't like these. This is what happens when you try to change your surroundings and your settings. But anyway, I go to say there's certain people that I've seen pass down their luxury stuff that they bought years and years ago to their daughter, or people share like, oh yeah, this was my mom from 1980, whatever, and we're in 2005. And it's just, people are starting their own journey of saving up, buying their luxury product, carrying it, and saving it for their next generation. And like I said, I'm never going to yuck somebody's yum, because it's also certain things that my mom has had since I remember being younger. And now I look at her closet. I told y'all I get it from her mama. My mama, she's a baddie. Okay? I'll show you pictures. You don't believe me. I'll show you pictures. Anyway, so like judging people for wanting to buy luxury, it's never going to be me, because, amongst people that I'm cool with, that's how they see me. And I laugh because it's like, I don't know. Everyone shows what they have in different ways. Now, getting mad that someone that's working with different brand, it can be exhausting. One of my homegirls, I remember in the past 2 months, she has been home for the past 60 days. She's been home for 4 days. She's traveling with this brand. So like I said, y'all remember earlier I said it's not like extreme hard work, or it's a different kind of hard work compared to people that are really literally saving our lives. Educators, you know, they're also doing hard work. I know the students nowadays are harder to teach. Y'all not doing your jobs as parents. Some of y'all, if it don't apply, let it fly. And y'all stressing these teachers out. Okay, but now let's go to some of the points that she said that I was like, that doesn't make any sense. We literally have in America the richest man in the world. You're telling me you're not calling him and 15 of his billionaire friends out, but you're talking about us, little people? You're not serious. The way I know, I'm not there yet to where I'm quitting my job and I'm doing full-time content creation. I was last year and I did it for 6 months and it was very liberating, and it made me know that that's what I'm going to get back to in a way where I'm always generally a happy person. The only thing stopping me right now from conquering the world is having more money. I just need money, more money, but in a way where like I'm joyous in life. You know, I had my family. I did, you know, earlier this year, I lost my dad, and that just made me think about life in a different perspective. So telling people they make too much money because you're not where you want to be, that sounds like a you problem, not an us problem, okay? But we have people that have so much money, they can literally, if you gathered a billionaire in any country that they're in, they probably could help their country and save it. But no, we got people just being useless. They want power. After you have so much money, you want power. You're not talking about those people. You're talking about me making what I'm making, or just content. And when I say me, y'all, I'm talking about like content creators. I'm just generalizing. But you are more worried about, oh, this is so pretty. I can't wait to use it. It's so pretty. But I want to do something cool. Hold on, y'all. We have to be able to talk about those people in a way where harboring that much money is different than the content creators that are, you know, they putting in the work. I mentioned my friend earlier that she's just been traveling. It's still work. I know she's at the last legs and now she's just fatigued. She's ready to go home and sleep for like 3 days. But, you know, when you find out that this kind of job, no matter how strenuous to the body it may be, it brings a lot of us creative people joy. Like during the 6 months that I was just working for myself from home, I knew that was the path I wanted to take. And I knew, you know, everything changed and I had to come, you know, move back home with my mom. And, you know, life comes at you fast. But I knew I wanted to do that because the freedom it gave me, I was able to say yes to so many things that I was missing out on. And I didn't realize I was missing out on because I was always at work. And it wasn't work that was fulfilling me at the time. I was just like, I can't do this forever. I cannot just come and just be working around. Just, no. I can't find the other brush I'm looking for. But realizing that you can do all of these things on your own and secure the bag and make your money It also helps you. The more money you have, the more money you're able to invest, the more money you're able to feed your soul, travel in the world if you can, if that's something you want to do. It's not just about harboring money. And the people that are doing that, you could tell that that's what they're doing. But the people that are just like, I now finally have the means to do this. And y'all come on here and not y'all, you know what I'm talking about. But when people have this conversation, I notice a lot of the times too, I didn't script anything. So if I'm going all over the place, forgive me, please. All of this is coming from my brain. I just didn't have time to script it out or want to script it out. I just wanted to come from my heart, you know? But I noticed, what I was going to say is I noticed this conversation too always targets like the luxury or the beauty community. It's always one or the other. And it's usually targeted at like the industry that a lot of women dominate. Because I don't see y'all talking about the content creators that are men that own 4 cars that can buy 7 houses. Y'all not talking about that. Y'all not talking about the people that own watches that can buy 10 houses. And majority of that, like, it's niche, but there's still content creators that do that. I never see, the people in the comment section be hyping them up. They want to see more. But it's like, I guess because it's saturated. I don't even want to say oversaturated because there's a creator for somebody. I just never see the comments. It can be like maybe now they're just breaking it down, talking about parts and the kind of car. And I'm into like hypercars, so I've been knowing a little bit. And I told y'all earlier I'm writing a show. It's about hypercars. Anyway, another story for another day. But I just never see that type of conversation happening on that side. I don't see it. It's something that's saturated with women and we're excelling at it. And do you know how many things I have learned from influencers and content creators on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube? So many things I never, ever even knew. So many things. That's why certain brands, they see that in that person and they're like, oh, for this thing that we're trying to do, that content creator is the right person. And I think we should hire them for this campaign. And they're worth every penny that we're going to invest in them. Because sure, the brands are paying money, but they know if they hire 4 of their most popular, most famous, non-lying content creator, y'all going to buy because that person don't come on here and bullshit y'all. And they be telling you the truth. Like I said, I recognize that not all content creators are honest, which is sad. And I feel like those are the people that people see on a mega scale and assume that all content creators are that way. I know this whole entire video I've just and probably won't get a lot of edit because I've just been talking nonstop. But yeah, the businesses also want to make money, so they're gonna hire their best people. I am a very small, tiny nano. I think I'm less than a nano. I don't remember, child. I don't remember the numbers that they considered what is what. But I say all this to say I have been on many sets to know no, content creators are not getting paid too much money. Because that was the argument. Too much money is crazy. The amount of content creators that I know personally, y'all may not know them or y'all know them, but you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. And I know what they're doing behind the scenes. These people are helping their communities in ways that you can't even imagine that they wouldn't have been able to do if they didn't have the money. They're helping their families in the way, that's what I'm saying. You don't know where people come from. You don't know what people's struggles are. You don't know where, like, to just say somebody's getting paid too much, by whose standards? Because if it's yours, your standards are trash. I said what I said. The people that we need to hold accountable for doctors and teachers and all these people not getting paid the fair, because I feel like teachers, educators should get paid way more. But me putting on this beat is not stealing any money from the teachers and the professors and all the industry that, help build the world and communities, because that's what educators do. educators are very important to our everyday lives. And, you know, there are different types of educators in different fields all over. Educators that are researching how to cure diseases, like, you know, those jobs are important. But to bash content creators and saying they're making too much money, like I said, I try to do my part. I get a lot of PR, even as a small content creator. And I know other content creators that get like literally PR from every brand. I say no to certain brands because if we're not aligned, I'm not interested. But a lot of the times when I get PR now, it's different for me. And I would say it's probably different from certain makeup artists too, because I'm a makeup artist. Half of the things, if I really enjoy it, and I don't put nothing in my kit if I haven't tried it for at least a month or two. But a lot of the, come on, Fenty, come on, look at my cheeks. Come back to this side. I mean, that's just lighting. Like if I block the light, you see? But bling, bling. But no, on a serious note, like the good work people are doing, I try to donate a lot of my PR. But a lot of my friends, a lot of my girlfriends, my acquaintances, I give them a lot of my PR. I don't need 13 retinols sitting on my little counter here. Okay? I just don't. I don't need, what do you call it? Every single thing that I get in PR is not always a need for me. So I try it out, put it in my kit. I give a lot of my girlfriends stuff. I give my sister a lot of stuff. My mom, now that like we're living back under the same roof, there's a little joy I see in her eyes every time I open PR. So I save all my PRs now for when she gets home and I open it with her. She's like, I want that. But you know, I do that. And then I have a whole stash that I want to donate to shelters. But best believe, the bigger my money is, the bigger I'm going to be able to just do things for the community little by little that I can. Like, I was going to say, I don't know if y'all know, but you know Gloria, and you know the good that she's been doing with like providing water. Well, you don't know what content creators are doing with their money. And I know you see certain people live lavishly. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. It can seem like people are rubbing it. Why can't I talk today? Rubbing. Oh my God. English has escaped me today. Rubbing it. Rubbing it in your face. I don't even know if I said that right, but my brain was just doing glitch. Anyway, I hear my mom. But you don't know what people are doing with their money. Is that what I was trying to say? In a flashy way, it can seem like people are doing that in a flashy way, but some people are just trying to share their joy. Like, this is where I came from. This is not what I'm doing. I cannot believe it. I was in my village. Now I'm not. I was in my village. Now I'm on the runway in Paris. Just boom, 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 boom. Or, you know, we was in the hood and now I'm traveling the world and I can help the rest of my family do the same. Or, you know, I'm the first to graduate from college and now I have this money to do this because this brand has given me this opportunity, and I just keep yapping about, and people are yapping about their passion and making money off of it, and you're mad for what? Jealousy. Now they do you. Anyway, I want to do lips. Does this need a liner? I feel like it needs a liner. Yeah, it needs a liner. But yeah, I don't think people are maliciously coming on Beyonce's internet using Kelly's Wi-Fi on Michelle's desktop to show y'all that they are doing better than you. It's your own insecurity and your own jealousy. Literally, that's what I think it is. I don't think it's people just... Are there people like that? Sure. Because y'all know we hear stories of people being weird people. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that genuinely just want to show you guys, wow, this is how I'm living my life now. And I know sometimes when you're not in a good place mentally, you perceive things differently. Like you can see like, why is that person showing up? And they're just showing their joy. They just want to share joy. There's never been a time I've seen people that are genuinely happy leave nasty comments. Because you're not worried about that. It's just not a thing. It's always people that are insecure in their own beings. Like I mentioned earlier, there was a girl on TikTok a while ago, like maybe a month ago. She made a video. Yeah. So a month ago, there was this girl that was saying on TikTok, she was like, oh, have you guys noticed that content creators or influencers are not relatable anymore? And just like this lady, it was giving jealousy the way she was talking about it. Y'all want people to be stuck where you met them. Because we know lifestyle creep is a thing. But when there are people that are just like, oh, I can finally get out of this space that was not serving me and my family mentally. We can do better now. We can travel the world just a little bit. You're not going to relate to every content creator. You're not going to relate to every influencer. You're not. I'm sorry to tell you. You're not. You're just not. Find someone that you can relate to. And when they start to excel, because the thing is, when someone is a small content creator, the more they lock in and double down and just keep creating content, they get discovered. One thing goes viral or maybe not. And it's just like slowly creeping and boom, y'all think someone is an overnight success and they've been doing this for 15 years. It's bloggers that y'all are just now discovering. They've been blogging for 10 plus years, and that person is probably finally getting the recognition that they deserve. And it's all of a sudden they're not relatable anymore. But you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what that person been through. And let's talk about, what if someone has not been through nothing? They can still get to live their life in the world is hard enough. People can get to enjoy a softer life, an easygoing life. Y'all love people struggling. And then when they make it and they want to be able to just live a peaceful, what we may call a more luxurious life, because I'm not part of that equation, but we see it as them showing off. Like I said, there's some people like that, but it's not the majority. But it's always a loud minority, and y'all think that loud minority is everybody, and it's not. People want to be able to share their joy with the internet. And some people, they've just never struggled. And that's okay too. And some people have struggled and they've tasted the better life. They're like, oh, the better life is good. That's where I want to be forever. And then help their families. But I've seen behind the scenes of the good a lot of content creators do. And I'm just not going to let y'all come on here and just bashing. Because that's what a lot of people. Also, there are a lot of brands behind the scenes that y'all don't know. They do good work. They donate. They do a lot of good work. I know this is a brand y'all not going to expect, but Tarte does a lot of good. Oh my God. Tarte does a lot of good things behind the scenes. I know last year, or maybe it was 2 years before, around the holidays, the way they were able to like donate and give so many things to teachers. And, I was invited to that event. They do a lot of things. I know the little thing that has happened with Tarte. I know y'all don't see the bigger picture with them. And there's so many brands that I know and that I've also worked with and partnered with. They just do a lot and donate and do so many good things for good causes. It's just sometimes we got to step back. It's not always all about you. So the next time y'all want to blah, 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 blah about content creators making a lot of money, just mind your business and find a way to make you a lot of money. Not in that way. I think that came off really crass and not nice. But you know what I'm trying to say. We got to stop coming online bashing people. Do I want gloss? Do I want to use this? Or do I want to use this? What do I want to use? Let's use Fenty on Fenty. Also, if you've made it this far, let me know. I want to color my hair. I'm going to put a picture on the screen. Should I color my hair and leave it this length and just make it like, you'll see the picture of what I'm trying to do, or cut it off? My birthday is in 5 days, 6 days. 6 days? It's in 6 days. Let me know in the comments. Because I'm cutting my hair and giving myself, look at the new growth. I'm doing my, oh, come on. Focus. Yeah. Getting all of this done. But y'all, let me know what I should do. And I am on the road to, I would love to get to, I don't know if it's possible. I would love to get, that's too much gloss. I would love to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. You think I could do that? Anyway, I know this was a different kind of video, but I just wanted to add my little 2 cents in before we wrap up the conversation, for real, for real, for real. But the next time we think of something like this, we just gotta, you know, think logically before we talk with emotions when it comes to stuff like this. Anyway, I think I've yapped enough. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you're finding me for the first time, how you doing? Consider subscribing. And you see me in the next video.